Say your last name so that we all say it correctly.
Shattuck.
Rylan Shalleck, just like it looks. So you're rocking the very regal, very royal purple today. I dig it, man.
Thanks.
Who are all the sponsors you're representing today?
So honestly, my biggest supporters are the people who make my custom clothing. I get to design it myself. I draw it and they just create it on fabric basically. So Hyperthreads. And then my other biggest one is just who I recover with, Met Naturals. So they do like CBD recovery stuff.
Right.
So, which has been really clutch. I actually just polished off the whole container of recovery cream because I've only slept in my bed 2 nights in the last 5 weeks. So I've just been nuking that stuff after every race.
Well, here's what I'm impressed with, okay? Not just the travels, and but you're documenting the adventures. And as a guy who does that stuff for a living, it's really hard. You got to put thought into it, right? You got to like enjoy the run, but then also film it. Like, I'm very impressed with your multi-facetedness.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Honestly, like, I just want to show people that they don't have to live like everybody else. Like, everybody's trying to fit in and, do things the same way as everyone else. And, sometimes you got to get made fun of and just be the different one and show people that there's another way to live.
What were your goals heading into Greece?
To win.
All 3 races, or just as long as I come out on that last race?
Actually, the first goal was to finish because up until the Beast, I hadn't run more than about 10 miles in 4 or 5 months. So that was my longest run by about 7 miles. And I definitely couldn't hang with Basilico on that long of a race. But the first 2 days, first day I had him, second day I was almost there. And then on the Beast, he put like a minute and a half into me.
Were there any obstacles? Did you fail anything? I couldn't watch the coverage. I was at World's Toughest.
No, both of us had clean races, which I was excited because both of us last year I had 120 burpees. I think he had 180.
What'd you fail last year?
2 spear throws. I cramped on Z-wall and fell off, and the balance beam in the rain, I slid off.
Do we still have a spear throw?
Yeah, I nailed all 4 this last time. All 4, baby.
Were you nervous?
Oh, yeah. Because I hadn't practiced because they haven't been in any of the 3Ks.
I was going to say.
Yeah, it was my first few spear throws of the year.
So you're kind of doing a lot. I just saw you. You're next, buddy. You're next. So when I saw you last, you had just raced, what Spartan race? I can't even remember now.
OCRWC, then Alpha Warrior.
OCRWC, then Alpha Warrior, then Greece,
Mexico.
then Mexico, then Greece, then this?
Yeah.
Anyway, you're doing quite well.
Thanks.
In many of these disciplines. Are you coming to Dallas for DECA?
Yes, Lord willing, I'll be there as long as I'm healthy and able to. So yeah.
So, do you want to focus on anything? Do you want to be like a Chris Rogloski? Just, hey, the event is there and I show up and do it.
I don't want to be like anybody else, to be honest. I just want to be
she was just a point of reference. That's all.
Yeah. She's incredible. Like, she crushes it. I actually do a bit of her programming, so I like to mess with like, hey, maybe we should do this week, maybe we should do that next week type thing. So, she's an incredible athlete. For me, I'm just trying to live my life the best way I know how and inspire other people that ask questions about how they can live theirs a little different.
Ask people what?
Just inspire other people to maybe ask questions like, hey, maybe I could try this too. Maybe I could, I could work on my aerobic engine so I can do a larger variety of this, or maybe I can work on my anaerobic engine to handle DECA mile better, things like that.
So when I talked to most of the men and the women prior to this race starting, and I talked about strategy, everybody says the same thing about pretty much every race, run my own race, blah, blah, blah. But people often get sucked into like the lead pack, right? And you're someone who I would think is literally not caring what anybody else is doing. So did you intentionally go out to drag the pack with you, or what were your thoughts starting this race?
I had a weird thought a few days ago that I haven't really been in as much prayer and reading as much scripture as I want to. So I decided at the beginning of the race I wasn't going to start with everyone else and I was just going to keep praying. So I started a little bit after and then I felt good, so I went to the front. And my goal was to get some people to come up with me and try and blow them up by them trying to catch me on the sleds. and then just run it out because I knew my runs were going to be good. So I was trying to get other people to crack by like trying to catch up on the sleds in the ski erg, but Ryan didn't crack. It's just too fast.
So when you started right behind people, I thought it's because you were waiting for your Garmin.
No.
It was because you wanted to take an extra moment to pray.
Yeah.
Dude, I dig it, man. I really dig that. Just listen, like, you don't have to talk about God to be spiritual. And I'm someone that considers myself spiritual, even though I don't talk about God a lot. So for hear you say that, I think that's super powerful. Like just taking, I mean, it took what, like 3 seconds maybe, but it's just it's a real conscious thing to do.
Yeah. I haven't been as good about like, there's a principle throughout Scripture about like, one of my favorite scriptures recently has been, from dust I came, from dust I'll return. And it's like people will say, oh, you deserve this today. I'm like, I didn't deserve anything. Everything I have is given to me. Like even my ability to train, like that was taken away for months for me this year. Like my ability to run. And so every day that I have that, I should be grateful for that. And I've been traveling so much and on the road that I haven't been giving God like my first fruits and being like, hey, I'm gonna give this to you. And so I think that's why maybe he put it in my mind to be like, hey, the beginning of your race, I just want you to acknowledge me and be like, hey, I'm here because of you. So that's really all that was, just being grateful to be here.
Well, I think a lot of folks maybe get hung up in, like, you still got to do the footwork, right? Whether it's praying for a job or whatever it is, like you can pray and meditate and take that time in the morning, and you got to get up and do the work. So for you,
yes,
you still have to put in that work though.
100%. But it could all be my ability to put in the work could be taken away at any moment. Like my mom used to be an incredible athlete. She still is. She's a lot healthier now, but there was a point when I was in high school where we would walk into a grocery store. She got Lyme's disease, really bad. And so we'd walk into the grocery store, and she used to run marathons. And I would have to carry her out because the left side of her body would shut down. So I would carry her out of the store, or my brother would or something. So like, and she was doing everything that she could right. And the doctors weren't, like at that point, insurance didn't want to acknowledge Lyme's disease because it's not very profitable to treat.
Right.
And so she had to go from doctor to doctor, and they're like, oh, you don't have it, you don't have it, you don't have it. And so she just kept getting worse, 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 and worse. And like, we thought she was going to die at some point. And it just, like, every time I go back to that, and I've also, like, I worked in fire and EMS for a while, and I'd see so many people die without hope in their eyes. And it's like, everything can be taken away from you. Like, everything you have is given to you. So I don't really deserve anything, but what I am given, I should do what I can with that.
All right, dude. Thank you so much.